Yes, that's right. I'm gonna show you again. The Mykell Mathieu Show. That's what you are tuning into right now. Appreciate you guys for tapping in with me. Like I said, you are on this journey with me as I march forward to get closer to gaining my star and on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But it's yours truly, Mykell Mathieu here, and it is Friday. And as you do know, I do go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday to bring you that heat. One of the best in LA, if you don't know it, and I'll keep it real because not only am I the best in LA, I'm the best from LA. So it's all together. Shout out to my folks from Los Angeles, whether you from the city, South Central like myself, or you from the county, it's LA, baby, into the end of times. But I thank you guys so much for joining me here today for this episode. A lot of stuff to talk about. Of course, no basketball today because the Oklahoma City took care of business, knocking off the Minnesota Timberwolves, a gentleman's sweep. And like I said on the last episode, they are truly the team of destiny, the team that looks like they are ready for their moment, and that is by winning an NBA championship. But they got to wait. They have to wait because they are waiting for the winner of the Eastern Conference. Shout out to Shea, MVP during the regular season, MVP for the Western Conference playoffs. He is balling. He is playing at a peak level of his performance, looking like a Kobe, Penny, and all the great wings before him. The guy is balling, but they're waiting for the Eastern Conference because the Knicks have stayed alive. They keep themselves alive, knocking off the Indiana Pacers, the first blowout of this series. If you look at it, they win 111-94. And I know everybody's going to talk about Jalen Brunson, 32 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, doing his thing, making some big shots, looking like that guy, doing it all in 34 minutes, 12 for 18, very efficient. Then you got Cat, 24 points, 13 rebounds, doing his thing. Miles Bridges, Mykell Bridges in double figures with 12 points. OG Anunoby, 11 points. But I know they did their thing, right? You got those players there, and Josh Hart, another guy. That's the, 5 guys that we expect to play well for the New York Knicks. They did their part. Mykell Bridges, double figures. Anunoby, double figures. 24 for Cat, 32 for Brunson, 12 from Josh Hart. But it ain't all about all of that. They won this game 111-94 because their defense, and that defense was all set up by the presence of a losing alum. You know, shout out to he was my freshman when I was a senior. My guy D-Lon Wright did his thing in his 10 minutes, and he didn't even score a point. It was his impact defensively. Along with Landry Shamet, they came in and they changed everything. And they showing Tibbs, play us. We can help. And it's not just by scoring because they combined for a total of 5 points with Landry Shamet scoring all 5 of them. But it is about their defensive effort. They came out early and hounded the guards of the Indiana Pacers. They came in and made it tough on Tyrese Halliburton. The reason why he finished the game with only 8 points and 6 assists, like they came out and set a tone that the rest of the team followed. So shout out to Miles McBride. Shout out to DeLon Wright. Shout out to Landry Shamet. Shout out to Mitchell Robertson, who are giving them some productive minutes. You know, I know everybody talks about the star players, and the star players deserve to have their love. The star players deserve to be paid the way that they are paid. But you got to put some respect on the name of some of these role players who are coming out here and playing some great, great basketball and finding ways to help their team win these games, because it takes more than just your star players. You need the others. Shaq says it all the time. Shout out to that Los Angeles Laker legend. He said it all the time. You don't win without the others. And Tibbs has to count on those guys. They are paid millions of dollars to play basketball. You have to play them. And we're not telling you to play them a crazy amount of minutes, just enough to give your guys a breather so that they can be fresh and just to see. One of them might come out knocking down some shots. One of them might come out and getting some big time stops. And that's what you saw in this game, this 111-94 win for the New York Knicks. Guys showed up and did their parts and made it tough, and they took care of home. The defense was the calling call for most of the year. That was the calling call in this victory, and that's what they're going to need to win and try to take this game to 7 series. Because going back to Indiana is going to be tough. To take it to the other side for the Pacers, it's like, hey, we just got to get ourselves together. We had an off game. We shot barely 40%, if that. Let me look at that stat for sure. Yeah, they shot 40.5%. They made only 10 of 33s. For them, it was just an off game, right? They can get themselves together, round themselves into shape, and say, we're going home where we're really tough to beat, especially here in the playoffs. So for the Indiana Pacer fans, there's no panic. You're like, I trust my guys to take care of business when they are at home. But for you Knick fans, you have to like what you saw, because I feel confident that they can go into Indiana, especially if they bring over this same ingredient on how they won. Defense, the bench players come in and getting enough run, 10 to 18 minutes to give the star guys a rest, and then they come in and do what they do. I'm hoping for some Game 7 basketball. Game 7, the two greatest words you can hear in sports, especially in basketball. And Game 7 in the Mecca, the final game of NBA on TNT, can be in New York, where the New York Knicks hosting the Pacers, a great rivalry, where that winner goes into an NBA Finals. I hope we see it. So New York Knicks, I need y'all to come in. I need y'all to ball out. I need you guys to find a way to make this a Game 7, because, oh my gosh, that the Mecca, Madison Square Garden will be so crazy. It will be a moment for everybody to check that out, and I'm hoping that we get a chance to see it. But once again, shout out my guy D Wright, DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet, Miles McBride. They gave you some great minutes, New York fans, and they helped keep this season going for another game. So we got to wait for that game on Saturday. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen, because whoever comes out of it, I said it before, they are going to be a sacrificial lamb to the Oklahoma City Thunder as they set to win their first championship of their franchise. But it's going to be a great one. Game 6 is going to be dynamite. I expect both teams to come out with some haymakers, and that's the Knicks and Pacers. And I'm hoping to see a Game 7. If you agree and you want to see Game 7 basketball in New York, let me know. Remember, you can hit me up in the comments, especially if you're watching on YouTube through the Misfits live page. Yeah, man, it was some great defense. I love to see defense just as much as I love to see great offense. So to keep it hoop, the WNBA, the Sky, they picked up their first victory of the year last night. And I know a lot of people hate on Angel Reese, but you know, here at the Mykell Mathieu Show, we don't take none of that mess, baby. We don't take none of it. We show love to the Black Queen, Angel Reese, and her squad got their first win. Shout out to Vandersloot, who is now the all-time leading scorer for that organization, doing her thing as always, the vet, a baller, a hooper. So some good things happening for the Sky. Let's see if they can put together a run, put together some wins, so that people in Chicago can get excited about watching some Chicago Sky basketball with Angel Reese. The Sparks, they are back tonight, baby. They match up at 7 p.m. against the Las Vegas Aces. That's right, Kelsey Plum's first matchup against her former team is going to be in Las Vegas, and I know it's going to be fun. The Sparks are coming off of a tough loss. They're trying to put it together. They're 2-4 right now. They look so close, but they have to get themselves right. And last year, they won 2 out of 3 games against the Las Vegas Aces, and they only won 8 games. So hopefully KP can help bring them something that can give them an edge so that they can pick up this big-time win, because it is much needed. Sparks Aces tonight. I can't wait to check it out. As you know, it's going to be all the love here for the NBA on the Mykell Mathieu Show. but it's also going to be love for the WNBA because I rock with it. I cover the Sparks. I got a dope show. We're going to be live streaming tonight, LA Sparks weekly on TikTok. You can watch us live on a bunch of Infinity TV on YouTube. It's going to be litty, baby. So I'm excited for the game tonight. Let's switch gears. Let's talk about some football, baby. And it's going to be some good football coming up. As you already know, OTAs is going up. It's going crazy right now with some good football as these teams prepare to make their run to a championship, possible championship run. So let's see. But let's talk about flag football. Patrick Mahomes. No, no, no. Patrick Mahomes is already pretty much coming out and saying that he can't see himself playing flag football, trying to win an Olympic gold for the U.S. in LA in 2028 because he is going to be trying to win Super Bowls. He's going to be 32 in 2028. He said he don't want to hear nothing about no flag football. So I'm curious to see if we're going to get Patrick Mahomes. Maybe he might change his mind. I know Matthew Stafford, they asked him about it, and he was like, I hope that I'm still in the league. Maybe I might show up to be coaching, but I know that, flag football without Patrick Mahomes will be crazy, especially if some other NFL players decide to play. But, man, I'm hoping that we get to see it because I am a fan of Patrick Mahomes playing in LA, playing flag football. I would love to be there covering Patrick Mahomes playing flag football, trying to win him some Olympic gold. So let's see what's going to happen. I hope we get to see it. But when it comes to the Chiefs, as you know, the Mykell Mathieu Show is the home of we're going to show the Chiefs love because I am part of Chiefs Kingdom, baby. Been a big Chiefs fan since the 90s. Montana, Steve Bono, Elvis Gerback, Marcus Allen, Neil Smith, Derek Thomas, Dale Carter, James Hasty. So it's going to be a lot of Chiefs talk here, and they're the hot team in the NFL, so it all makes sense. But the question is, will their offense be more explosive this year? And I believe so, especially if they're healthy. We're going to start up front. I think if that offensive line can be much better, you got Simmons there in the first round that they take. Coach Reed is saying he's healthier than at first expected, so he's going to compete for that left tackle. They got to figure out who's going to be the left guard, but I think that they have someone that can come in there and play well. It's much different than the left tackle spot. You really need that spot. We know they got Creed Humphrey. Trey Smith is back, and then Jawan Taylor holding down the right tackle. But I know Kelsey is older, but I still think he's going to be solid. You had Witten there with the Cowboys who was solid even when he was much older. It's just who you surround him with that could take some pressure off. I like Smith, the running back they took in the sixth round. He brings some speed. Elijah Mitchell, see what he can do. Can he make something happen to kind of revamp his career? Of course, we got Isaiah Pacheco, who is going to be looking to have a bounce back year. Kareem Hunt is there. So the running back room is straight. And I like the receivers. I think that Hollywood Brown should be healthy, and he's going to try to shut some critics up and play well. He showed you some things late in the season, but he just didn't have enough time to break out for the Chiefs. Xavier Worthy, coming off a very solid rookie year, is going to be much better his second year, especially with the return of Rashee Rice, who was looking like a legitimate top 5 to 7 wide receiver before his injuries, especially with Travis Kelce aging. That means there's more opportunities for a Rashee Rice. So I'm liking this Chiefs offense. I think it is a bounce back year for them. Of course, Spags going to have that defense right, but I just believe in Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and these weapons figuring things out so that they're able to bounce back, so that they're able to, win some games and play some really good football, man. But I am excited for the Chiefs to bounce back. I know everybody has that visual of them getting smacked up by the Eagles. I would have never expected that the greatest part of the Super Bowl would be the Kendrick Lamar performance in the Super Bowl, because I thought the Chiefs was going to make it 3 in a row, but it didn't happen. But let's see. Once again, Patrick Mahomes and his group looking to bounce back. He is saying right now that it may be a no for flag football in 2028, but we'll see as time rolls on. But let's take you from the hardwood to the gridiron to the mound to baseball, baby. You know, I got to talk some baseball too. My guy Mike Trout is returning for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. He missed the past 26 games. The team was 13-13 without him. They were at 500. They won 8 straight games where I was all pumped up, like, oh my gosh, here come the Halos. But then the Angels starting to look more like the Angels once again. They have lost their last 5 games, 2 to the Miami Marlins. Come on, guys. Got to be better. But they're sitting at 25-30. They're about 6.5 games back from first place. It's good to have Mike Trout back. I just want to see Mike Trout healthy. Hell of a player. First ballot Hall of Famer, most likely. One of the greatest that we've seen. I really have a special bond with him because he's an August 7th baby like myself. But I just like seeing stars be stars. It's great for whatever league that we're talking about. NHL, MLB, NBA, NFL, or etc. So I'm hopeful that he can be healthy, stay healthy, ball out. If this is his last season with the Angels, I want it to be a great one. And the AL West isn't crazy. It's not the NL West. It's not the AL East or anything like that. It's very winnable if they can get themselves together. But they're sitting at 25-30. He's going to be back playing some right field. They added Chris Taylor not too long ago to bring some championship pedigree to the squad. So I'm hoping that the Angels can make a run. I'm hoping they can put some good baseball together because whenever the Angels are winning, it's just good. It's a good look. It's good for Orange County. And for me, an Angel fan, it is great. So let's see what Mike Trout can do. I'm hoping he can have a last great run with him if this is it for him with the Angels. We got a big series out here in LA getting cracking today, actually, at the Ravine. Dodgers Yankee matchup is going to be fun. It's going to be lit. Both teams are trying to get back to the World Series. Both teams sit at first place in their respective divisions. Both teams are like, hey, we want to knock off this team. We already know how this New York LA rivalry is. Here in LA, we got more swag than them. Our rappers are better than them. Our food is better than theirs. Our women looks better than theirs. Everything is better. That's just the beef between LA and New York, and it's going to stay that way. That's why I still have dreams that before I die, I can see a Lakers versus Knicks NBA Finals. That would be crazy. Hell, a Super Bowl with the Giants versus Rams will be lit as well. Not Giants Rams, but like Jets Rams or Rams Chargers versus Giants. Like that LA New York beef is for real. We just saw it. Joey Badass versus the West Coast with a lot of those representation being from LA. So it's going to be fun to see this matchup. And the question is this going to be a World Series preview? And so far, I know the Dodgers aren't looking as great as many expected, but they're still the Dodgers. As long as they got Shohei Ohtani over there with Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, I believe they will be back. And the Yankees with Aaron Judge. The dude is hitting 391, looking very Barry Bonds-like. Like, I'm excited for this weekend series because for the Dodgers, you have the Yankees, and then you follow that up with the Mets. So it's all beef between LA and New York, but especially Yankees and Dodgers, one of the greater rivalries in baseball history. I would love to see them play in 3 out of the next 5 World Series and create a true rivalry because both teams have some of the most obnoxious fans, craziest fans, and both cities love their squads. So let's see what that series is going to look like. It's going to be fun. I'm not moving too far away from the sports side of things because I got to talk about First Take. And First Take, you guys have to be better because I watched the show. It's a dope show. They're doing their thing. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith, the legend, has changed the game for journalists like myself. But you got to do better, man. The Morris twins, of course, played really solid NBA careers. They played a long time. But just like I always say, when it comes to NBA players, athletes, period, some of these guys were great players, but it don't mean they know how to articulate the game. Some of them were just physically gifted, that they could come out there and look great and do whatever, but they don't know how to speak and talk the game. And you see the prime example with First Take with the Morris twins. They go on that show, and first of all, they're boring. And then it's like, do y'all know what y'all talking about? And yes, you played in the league, but for someone like me who have had to be a viewer and watch and things like that, that I get to learn it a different way than you just playing. Because a lot of times you're just focused on your job and making it happen, trying to keep the millions coming in, where I need to really learn this game and talk it just like other journalists who do it. So why not give other up-and-coming journalists a chance, especially you, Stephen A. Smith? You're part of the NABJ. You know there's some great up-and-coming black journalists like myself that's on the come up. Why not give them an opportunity alone? Maybe you pick one more two in and you get one of these up-and-coming journalists on. But having both of them sounding as boring as they do, not being able to articulate what they want to talk about, calling teams and players YNs and all that, like, it's crazy. Like, let them put some time in, maybe do some schooling, get themselves together so that they can be prepared and be better for TV. But they struggled on TV watching them on First Take, and they just had me thinking, like, why not give some people who actually do this as their job another opportunity, a greater opportunity to expand their brands by bringing them onto the show instead of just being lazy, picking athletes because, hey, they were former players. It better be a great player. Like NBC bringing Michael Jordan makes all of the sense. But the Morris twins, and I'm a Kansas JR fan, I was tapped in with them for a minute, but they are not TV guys. Get it together, First Take and Stephen A. Smith. Y'all got to be better than what you are. It's been 7 years, man. I got to switch gears from sports to hip hop entertainment. You know, I'm tapped in to it all. Remember, if you don't be on X, if you don't be on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, come here to the Mykell Mathieu Show. I'm going to talk to you about what's hot. And yesterday, it was 7 years since the story of Adidon dropped. A lot of people was talking about that because we remember, we all know what Not Like Us is and this whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. But 7 years ago was when Drake really started to lose chinks from his armor because he went up against Pusha T. He mentioned his wife in a record, the Duppy freestyle, which was really dope. I still rock with. I say it's fire, but you know, it was very lyrical. But sometimes it don't have to be powerful lyrics. It can be just the way that you said something or certain things that you brought up that can be just as powerful as dope lyrics. And that's what we saw with the story of Adidon. He exposed to the world that Drake was hiding his child from the world or hiding the world from his child. I don't know what he was doing, but that's what Pusha T was able to expose. Not only that, bringing up his baby moms and who she was, talking. He got real flagrant and violent, talking about 40 and his sickness, like doing it over that beat. The story of OJ, like Pusha T shined his brightest going up against Drake. Like he said, and that was the start of taking some chink from Drake's armor, was the story of Adidon and going up against Pusha T. Yes, I know he bounced back with the Scorpion album, which was amazing, had a bunch of like great hits. And he did his thing, but that was the beginning. And 7 years later, as we know, Kendrick was able to capitalize off of that and did what he did to where he is now. But we got to give respect to the story of Adidon, probably one of the top 25 diss records when you think about the impact of that song, to what it started to do to Drake, to where those fans who were waiting to hate because of the ghostwriting stuff, who was waiting to hate just because he was Drake and he wasn't missing, they were able to say, yes, somebody finally got through to him, and Pusha T did it with the story of Adidon. So that was 7 years ago. Shout out to Pusha T. They got new work coming out. If you're a Clips fan, they got some new work that's coming out. They just dropped a new record. I'm a fan of it. To hear Malice back spitting some bars again, sounding like himself, I'm a fan of that record. And let me find the title for you because it's a dope song. If you haven't heard it, Push is spitting bars. He brings up Yeezy. I know a lot of people when they hear that name, they feel some type of way, but he brings it up. But Ace's trumpets, dope records. Pharrell on the production. It is fire if you haven't heard it. But yeah, man, shout out to Pusha T. Shout out to Story of Adidon. It was a crazy moment in hip hop when that dropped. But I got to talk about something because being a hip hop fan, it's a lot of things that we talk about. But being in LA, being tapped into the LA rap scene for a while, I got to discuss this. Shout out to Complex Music. They dropped their LA rappers of all time, their best LA rappers of all time. They did their top 50. Some of the rankings, I was kind of like, yeah, but I think it comes down to wording. And when you word things as best, is different from greatest, right? Because if you look at greatest is, if you think of greatest hip hop acts LA, that's when Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, guys like that has to be in the top 5 because their impact on LA hip hop is to another level, right? But when you think of best, you think of like rappers, you think of when they get the mic, the things that they write, can't nobody be better than that. And that's why I think I defer with this list. But I get what they're saying. They're not telling you the best. The word says LA's best rappers, but they're really saying LA's greatest rappers when they think about overall the sales, albums, concerts, their impact on the genre, and so forth. And that's why I'm going to say this list is the greatest, because if it's the best, my guy Game at number 11 for best rappers, like he is rapping better than Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Those dudes have ghostwriters. He writes his own lyrics. He is better than them. He will be considered a better rapper, which will make him best. But greater, he doesn't have the impact. But Game comes in at 11. He's out there. He's like, yo, man, I'm better than all these guys. I'm watching all of them. Wait till this documentary 3 come out. So let's see what Game has to offer, because I know he's going to have a lot to talk about. Nipsey came in at number 10 in the top 5, which respect to Nip. Once again, another guy that some of them guys that they have at the top, they're not better rappers than, but they have a greater impact on the game of hip hop when it comes to LA. So shout out to their top 5. Their top 5 was Dot, Ice Cube, Snoop, Dr. Dre, and my guy DJ Quick, who I feel is always slept on. And to be honest, when I think of greatest, when it comes to impact of hip hop from these guys, that will be my top 5 as well. And how I will rank them when it comes to greatest, I will go, it's crazy to say, but Kendrick Lamar will be my number 1 greatest rapper born here in LA. We already know what Dot has been doing. For those who haven't been, I've been tapped in since Training Day, C4, the stuff with J-Rock, Kendrick Lamar EP, when I really was like, yo, this guy is the next one, which led to OD, Section 80, Good Kid, and then we know what the rest is. And he's still going to continue to grow. We never know. He might give us a surprise deluxe for GNX, or I don't know what's next for him. I'm still hoping and praying for a Black Hippie album, which will be crazy. But K Dot right now should sit at everybody's top when you think of greatest LA rappers, when you think of all the things that he's been able to do when it comes to music videos, concerts. He's just really showing that hip hop is art, and he's showing it from LA, doing it LA. So he is number 1. Number 2 for me will be Cube. Ice Cube, if you don't know, he is a big reason that the NWA was NWA. He wrote Boys in the Hood. He wrote a lot of stuff for Eazy-E. He was the big time writer for that group, along with the DOC and then MC Ram. But it was Cube. And not only that, Cube went solo dolo, America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, Lethal Injection, his work that he did with West Side Connection. Also, when you think about the movies, Friday After Next Friday, all the things Cube has been able to do. And I just think that that guy is one of the most slept on when you look at his peak. He was one of them ones, a big influence on Tupac Shakur. So Ice Cube will be my number 2 when it comes to LA. Number 3, it got to be the SNOOP, Snoop Dogg. We already know he's probably the most popular rapper in the history of rap. You can go anywhere in the world, and I'm pretty sure they know who Snoop Dogg is. When you think of marijuana, it's Bob Marley, it's Snoop Dogg. So Snoop Dogg is clearly one of the biggest rappers ever. He's number 3 for me when it comes to LA County, being born here. We know the classic Doggy Style. I put that in my top 5 of all time when it comes to albums. He dropped so much work. The stuff that he did with Dre early on to help Dre take that next step. And that's why Dr. Dre will be my number 4. Dr. Dre and his sound with NWA to lead in the G-Funk era with the 2001 sound. And, you know, Dre Beats, his impact on the game is to another level. He gave us he gave us, helped give us 50. Of course, him adding on to what Kendrick was already doing took him to the next level. Then number 5 for me, it was tough because for myself, I'm a huge fan of Game. I love what he does. I think he's an incredible rapper. He slept on because of stuff he's done away from the booth. But when he gets in the booth and he has the right team around him, he puts out amazing music. Nipsey was another one. Nipsey was a guy that I was tapped into from the beginning when it looked like him and J-Rock were going to lead the New West. It was they were close. They will probably be 6 and 7 for me. Then of course you got Easy E, and some others. But number 5 for me is one of the most slept on guys all around, I feel, in hip hop, and that's DJ Quick. Like, he is doing or has been doing J. Cole type things his whole career. He's giving you fire bars and he's giving you fire production. And why Quick is so scary, he's giving fire production for other artists to go crazy on. He helped bring us Mossberg, AMG, rest in peace to Mossberg. He gave us Sugar Free, and he has some classics. Like, DJ Quick is one of them ones. That guy knows how to get a party cracking. He makes it all funky, man. I'm a huge fan. Balance and Options, Quick is the name. Safe and Sound. Like, he just has so many great things, classic records, classic albums, especially when it comes to the West. So I think they got it right when it comes to top 5 when you think of LA County. Dot, Cube, Snoop, Quick, and Dre. You guys let me know. Remember, you can always comment there on YouTube, The Misfits Live, and let me know, what do you guys feel? Reach out to me. Hit me up. Let's talk some hip-hop. It's more than just sports for me. Let's talk some hip-hop. But before we go, I want everybody to enjoy their Friday, have a good time, and turn up and be safe out there. But I got to give you my top 5 songs of the week. Maybe some records that you can throw on that you might say, okay, I like this as a vibe. Or maybe songs you already know that you haven't heard in a while, you want to listen to again. I got you covered. So my top 5 songs, no order or rank, just give you 5 songs that I've been tapping into a lot this week. Special, speaking of Game, the song Special featuring Nate Dogg on the documentary album, really fire track. Nate Dogg, rest in peace, man. I would have loved to hear Nate Dogg with some of these newer West Coast artists. It would have been hard to hear him. What Times 2, I'm still knocking that by AZ Chike, like, fire record, straight West Coast. I love it. A record I can't get away from. Change Up by Blast, one of them smooth records. Like I told you guys before, like, I've been tapped in a lot more into West Coast hip hop as of late because I feel the West Coast is the only ones really doing it right now. So Change Up by Blast, and then I gotta go Peekaboo by Kendrick and AZ Chike again on the GNX album. Like, that song he put some crack on that record because it's hard to get away from it. That whole GNX, but Peekaboo is something different, something special, and something from my oldies that I've been tapping into. That if you don't know, write this song down, go research it now. It is fire. It's called Misdemeanor by Foster Silvers. If you never heard of them, go look them up. Foster Silvers, he was like a Michael Jackson type kid with the fro, really dope, but he just didn't pan out like that as he grew into an adult. But those are my 5 songs of the week for you guys. Go listen to them if you haven't heard them. I guarantee you will love them. But that Special by The Game featuring Nate Dogg, What Times Two, AZ Chike, Change Up by Blast, Peekaboo by Kendrick Lamar, and then Misdemeanor by Foster Silvers, a great record. And then, go throw on some of that Push and Malice, the clips. They are returning. Can't wait for the album. They might have a Kendrick and Jay-Z verse on there, I'm hearing. So look out for that. And then go look up the Complex Music list of the top 50 and, tell me what you think. Who should be moved up the list? Who should be moved down the list? Because I would change up some things, but that's just me. And I can say that here because it's my show, the Mykell Mathieu Show. I thank you guys so much for tuning in, for tapping in. I hope you guys have a good weekend because I will, and you should too. Catch you guys Monday. Have a safe weekend. We're going to be back Monday. We're going to be talking NBA Finals. See if the Pacers can knock off the Knicks tomorrow, or maybe it might be a Game 7 on Monday, and that's what we're talking about. But we'll see. Thank you guys for showing love, for tapping in. Remember, tell everybody you know to tap in. If you miss it live, go to YouTube, the Misfits live page on YouTube, so that you can check it out. Like, tell them to check out your boy. I'm up next. I'm about to go do a whole nother show, a live stream. Come check that out. Once again, LA Sparks Weekly, Infinity TV. It should be live on my Instagram or on the LA Sparks Weekly or Infinity TV Instagram, Sparks Aces. It's a lot of great things tonight. My niece going to prom. Shout out to her. Rajani, what's good? About to go up for you, but it's good times coming. Thank you guys for tuning in. And there is more to come from your favorite show. As you can see, we're on this march to my star, baby. I'm inviting everybody to turn up when I get my Hollywood star because it's going to be a great, great time. But catch you guys Monday. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Be blessed. And West up, baby.